Once the final frontier of dreams and gold rush legends, Alaska remains a land where wilderness speaks in languages older than civilization itself. This vast tapestry of ice and stone, where glaciers carve ancient stories into fjords and the aurora borealis dances across endless nights, has quietly evolved from a distant territory into one of Earth's most profound travel experiences. Here, in America's last great wilderness, every mountain peak holds secrets of geological time. Every indigenous community preserves wisdom spanning millennia, and every glacier tells tales of a world in constant, magnificent transformation. Today, I invite you to journey with me through 10 extraordinary places that define Alaska's soul. Destinations where the raw beauty of untamed nature meets the resilient spirit of those who call this remarkable land home. From the indigenous Tlingit peoples who first carved totems from these ancient forests, to the hardy settlers who braved impossible winters in pursuit of gold and dreams, Alaska's story is written in ice, stone, and the enduring human spirit. In the heart of Alaska's interior, Fairbanks stands as a testament to human perseverance in the face of nature's most extreme moods. Founded during the gold rush of 1902, this city has witnessed temperatures plummet to -60 degrees Fahrenheit, yet its spirit burns as bright as the aurora borealis that crowns its winter skies. Here, the Tanana River winds through endless boreal forests, and on clear winter nights, the northern lights transform the darkness into a cathedral of green and gold. The University of Alaska Museum holds treasures that span from mastodon tusks to traditional Athabascan birch bark baskets, each artifact whispering stories of survival and adaptation in Earth's most challenging environments. Perched on the edge of the Tongass National Forest, Ketchikan emerges from morning mists like a living museum of Pacific Northwest culture. Known as Alaska's first city for its position as the first major community encountered by northbound travelers, Ketchikan pulses with the heartbeat of indigenous artistry. Here, towering totem poles carved from centuries-old cedar trees stand as silent sentinels, their intricate faces and forms telling stories of clan histories, spiritual beliefs, and the profound connection between the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian peoples and their ancestral lands. Creek Street, once a red light district built on stilts over Ketchikan Creek, now houses galleries where contemporary native artists continue traditions that have flowed like salmon runs for thousands of years. Just 13 miles from Alaska's capital, Mendenhall Glacier flows like a frozen river from the Juneau ice field, its azure face reflecting both the beauty and fragility of our changing world. This 13-mile-long tongue of ice, formed over centuries of accumulated snowfall, advances and retreats with the patient rhythm of geological time. Indigenous Tlingit peoples called this place Sitaantagu, meaning the glacier behind the town, and for generations, they witnessed its seasonal moves. Today, visitors can walk trails through temperate rainforest to witness this living sculpture of ice, where the deep blue of compressed glacial ice meets the emerald green of ancient Sitka spruces, creating a symphony of color that photographers and poets struggle to capture. Along the Kenai Peninsula's rugged coastline, where the Gulf of Alaska's steel-gray waters meet towering walls of ice, Kenai Fjords National Park preserves one of nature's most dramatic stage sets. Here, the Harding Ice Field, a 700-square-mile remnant of the last ice age, feeds nearly 40 glaciers that calve into the sea with thunderous roars that echo across fjords carved by millennia of ice. stellar sea lions bask on rocky outcrops, while orcas patrol the deep waters, and puffins nest on cliff tops overlooking scenes of such pristine beauty that early Russian explorers believed they had discovered the edge of paradise itself. Rising 20,310 feet above sea level, Denali, the Great One, in the native Koyukon language, commands a wilderness larger than the state of Massachusetts. This is North America's tallest peak, a granite giant that creates its own weather systems and stands visible from distances of over 200 miles on clear days. The park that bears its name protects 6 million acres of subarctic ecosystem, where grizzly bears lumber across tundra, painted gold by autumn, wolves hunt in coordinated packs, and caribou migrate in rivers of antlers and hooves that flow across landscapes unchanged since the Pleistocene. Here, in this cathedral of stone and sky, visitors become pilgrims in the Church of Wilderness, humbled by scales of beauty that dwarf human ambition. On Kodiak Island, where the Pacific Ocean meets the Gulf of Alaska, in a collision of currents and weather systems, stands one of Alaska's most rugged communities. This island, larger than Connecticut and Rhode Island combined, serves as home to the famous Kodiak brown bears, the largest land carnivores in North America. Russian Orthodox churches dot the landscape, their onion domes reflecting a colonial history that began when Russian fur traders established the first permanent European settlement in Alaska here in 1784. Today, Kodiak's fishing fleet harvests some of the world's richest waters, while hiking trails lead through landscapes where bears fish for salmon, in streams that have run red with spawning fish for countless generations. Named for William Seward, the U.S. Secretary of State who orchestrated America's purchase of Alaska from Russia, the town of Seward sits like a jewel at the head of Resurrection Bay. This community of 2,800 souls serves as the gateway to some of Alaska's most spectacular marine adventures, where deep fjords carved by ancient glaciers create protected waterways perfect for kayaking among icebergs and whale watching. The Alaska Sea Life Center here serves as both research facility and window into the marine ecosystems that make these waters among the most biologically rich on Earth. While the historic Iditarod Trail, the 1,000-mile dog sled race that captures the world's imagination each March, begins its journey to Nome from Seward's snowy streets. In the wilds of the Alaska Peninsula, Katmai National Park preserves a 4.7 million-acre wilderness where volcanic landscapes meet one of the world's greatest concentrations of brown bears. Brooks Falls, the park's most famous destination, becomes a natural amphitheater each summer as dozens of massive brown bears gather to fish for salmon in scenes of primal drama that have played out for millennia. The park also protects the Valley of 10,000 Smokes, created by the 1912 eruption of Nova Rupta, one of the most powerful volcanic events of the 20th century, where fumaroles once steamed from a moonscape that reminded early explorers of Dante's vision of purgatory. Nestled between towering peaks at the head of a fjord that cuts deep into the Chugach Mountains, Valdez wears its nickname Switzerland of Alaska, with justified pride. This community, completely rebuilt after the devastating 1964 earthquake, sits surrounded by some of the most spectacular mountain and glacier scenery in North America. Here, where the Trans-Alaska Pipeline ends its 800-mile journey from Prudhoe Bay, modern industry coexists with wilderness that includes the Columbia Glacier, one of Alaska's most active tidewater glaciers, and waterfalls that plunge hundreds of feet from hanging valleys carved by Ice Age glaciers. Alaska's capital city, accessible only by boat or plane, spreads along the shores of Juneau Channel like a European alpine village transplanted to the edge of North America's greatest wilderness. Founded by gold prospectors Juneau and Richard Harris in 1880, this community of 32,000 residents governs a state larger than Texas, Montana, and California, combined from offices nestled between temperate rainforest and tidewater. The Mendenhall Glacier flows almost to the city's doorstep, while Mount Juneau rises 3,576 feet directly behind downtown, creating an urban landscape where wilderness and civilization exist in extraordinary harmony. Alaska calls to something ancient within us, that part of the human spirit that yearns for landscapes where our footsteps echo with the weight of geological time, where northern lights remind us that we inhabit a living planet spinning through cosmic darkness, and where the cry of eagles and the splash of breaching whales connect us to rhythms older than memory itself. These 10 destinations offer more than scenic beauty. They provide passages into a world where nature still writes the rules, where indigenous wisdom flows like salmon runs through generations, and where every sunrise over glacier-carved peaks reminds us that some treasures cannot be captured, only experienced with hearts wide open to wonder. In Alaska, we don't just visit places. We enter into conversation with a land that has shaped the dreams and challenged the courage of everyone who has ever called it home.